the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
Some big updates at the top of the NFL draft can paint a clearer picture for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears as we look at round one in this year's draft. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. So, Bears fans, we are so close to the 2025 NFL draft, and we have been having a whole lot of conversations about Ryan Poles and the Bears on who we believe that they will actually select with the number 10 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft. And, you know, the options are endless for Ryan Poles, and that's because how he handled free agency by really upgrading the trenches on both the offensive line and defensive line. Now the Bears can go into round one with many different possibilities. Rather they stay at pick number 10 and pick the best player available, they can trade back and add draft capital and still land a very, very good player in round one of this year's draft. But on today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I wanted to share some updates that I've been hearing in regard to the top of the NFL draft, talking about picks 1, 2, and 3 that can actually paint a clearer picture on who could possibly be available for Ryan Poles and the Bears at number 10 overall. And Bears fans, in my personal opinion, if the NFL draft at the top 10 picks in the 2025 NFL draft actually fall in place like this for Ryan Poles and the Bears, this would be a really good scenario. So first and foremost, you have the Tennessee Titans with the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft. I think the expectation around the NFL is that they take quarterback Cam Ward out of Miami. And once again, this is a really weak quarterback draft class, but he's obviously the best one available. I know there's going to be some debates about him and Shedeur Sanders, but I think Cam Ward is the number 1 overall pick to the Titans. And then the Browns take Abdul Carter, edge rusher out of Penn State, to pair with Myles Garrett, a really, really smart pick, the best defensive player in this year's draft class. And then the Giants, this is when things are going to be kind of shaken up here because, you know, and this is really the big update. You know, the really picks 1, 2, and 3 really set the table for round one of the NFL draft. And I truly think the Giants take Shedeur Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado. I know they got Russell Wilson. I know they got Jameis Winston, but they're both on 1 and 2 year deals respectfully. I still think they're looking at a long-term quarterback option. And the worst kept secret in the National Football League right now is that the New York Giants absolutely love Shedeur Sanders. They've actually had representation at every single one of Colorado's games. So they've been keeping a close eye at Shedeur Sanders. I think the smarter pick would be Travis Hunter, the Heisman winner out of Colorado for the New York Giants. But I think the Giants are in love with Shedeur Sanders, and they're going to take him at number 3. And that's going to be the big shakeup in round one of this year's NFL draft, because then the Patriots at number 4 are going to run to the podium, take Travis Hunter, wide receiver out of Colorado, to pair with Drake May. The Jags are going to take Mason Graham, defensive lineman out of Michigan. I think, unfortunately, the Raiders are going to take running back Ashton Jeanty out of Boise State. I think the Jets need offensive line help, so they're going to take Armand Membu, off the tackle out of Missouri. The Panthers and Saints both need defensive help, so the Panthers are going to take Mykel Williams, edge rusher out of Georgia. The Saints are going to take Shamar Stewart, edge rusher out of Texas A&M. And then that leaves us with the Chicago Bears. So obviously you look at the first 9 picks: Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, Ashton Jeanty, Armand Membu, Mykel Williams, and Shamar Stewart. That leaves the Chicago Bears some intriguing options at their pick at number 10 overall, with guys like off the tackle Will Campbell out of LSU or tight end Tyler Warren out of Penn State. So Bears fans, before I go any further, and I give you my opinion on who I believe or who I feel Ryan Poles and the Bears should draft with this pick, who would you rather see Ryan Poles select with the number 10 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft if the draft board actually fell like this for the Bears? Off of the tackle Will Campbell or tight end Tyler Warren. I think any one of these players would make the Chicago Bears offense a whole lot better. You can make arguments for both of them. Obviously, when you look at Will Campbell, we're looking at possibly an upgrade for Braxton Jones. I know that Braxton Jones hasn't been all bad, but Will Campbell, we talked a whole lot about Will Campbell. He is a very good prospect in this year's NFL draft, arguably probably one of the best tackles in this year's draft. I know there's been some questions about his arm length, but when you turn on the tape, he is a very, very good player. Really technical, really sound, really good recovery, really good footwork, really athletic, has a nasty edge in the run game, really good pass protector as well. And obviously, look about the level of competition that he has been playing against while at LSU. I think if you draft Will Campbell and you make him the left tackle, you have officially completed your offensive line, now having two really good tackles in Will Campbell. Obviously, Darnell Wright, you really upgraded the interior of the offensive line, with Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, and Joe Thuney, and Will Campbell would complete the overhaul to really invest and protect Caleb Williams going into this next season. When you look at Tyler Warren, you look at a massive weapon. Tyler Warren can do everything for Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears offense. You can put him in wildcat, you can put him in a slot, you can put him out wide, right? He can do anything you want. He can block, right? He's just a really, really good football player, a really good character guy as well. I know there's a lot of Bears fans saying that tight end Tyler Warren with Ben Johnson would be an absolute cheat code. I think the only thing about Tyler Warren is that you have a tight end in Cole Kmet, but you can also make the argument that Ben Johnson likes to run the 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets. And obviously this would be a very intriguing option. So for me personally, I think the smarter pick would be to complete the overhaul of your offensive line and take Will Campbell. I just love his demeanor. I love how he approaches the game. I love how he has the respect for the game. And I just love his confidence as a football player as well. He comes in, he pushes Braxton Jones. I think he is the day one starter at left tackle for the Chicago Bears. And I think that would really, really bolster this offensive line that we've already bolstered this offseason here in Chicago. So Bears fans, let me know if this is how it fell. Who would you take, Will Campbell or Tyler Warren? Let me know down below in the comment section. Before I let you guys go, Bears fans, I also want to talk about something that I've been hearing about a possible perfect trade back option for Ryan Poles and the Bears in round 1 of the 2025 NFL draft. And it revolves around the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are currently at the 21st overall pick in round 1 of this year's NFL draft. And obviously the Steelers are looking for quarterback help. Currently their starter on their roster is Mason Rudolph, and the Steelers and GM Omar Khan absolutely know that they cannot go into this next season with Mason Rudolph as their starter. They have been interested in Aaron Rodgers, but obviously Aaron Rodgers is acting kind of weird right now. I'm not sure if Rodgers is even wanting to come back and play. So obviously if Aaron Rodgers does sign with the Steelers, this means absolutely nothing. And as always, this is just a hypothetical scenario. I'm not saying this is actually going to happen, right? But let's say Aaron Rodgers decides to retire and the Steelers are going to need some quarterback help. They may be opted to trade up into the top 10 to possibly land a quarterback. And obviously this hypothetical scenario only really makes sense if a guy like Shedeur Sanders maybe drops to number 10 for some random reason. Maybe the Steelers like Jackson Dart, but I'm not sure if Jackson Dart is worth trading up, and giving up a whole bunch of draft capital for. So I think this hypothetical scenario only makes sense if a guy like Shedeur Sanders drops to number 10 when the Bears are picking. In that hypothetical scenario, I can see the Steelers trading 21-83, which is the 3rd round pick this year, because they do not have a 2nd round pick in this year's NFL draft. And then in 2026, they also give up a 1st and 2nd round pick. And obviously the Bears give them number 10. The Steelers trade up and land their quarterback of the future. And it would be probably a good scenario for the Steelers. Once again, they do need quarterback help in free agency. Besides Aaron Rodgers, you have guys like Carson Wentz, Teddy Bridgewater, guys that don't really move the needle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So this could be an aggressive move for the Steelers, a good trade for the Chicago Bears. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, that's a lot for the Steelers to give up for Shedeur Sanders or Jackson Dart. It's just the price of when you're trying to trade up into the top 10, especially when you are a quarterback needy team like the Steelers. And for example, I've seen scenarios as well where the Steelers are only giving the Bears 21-83 and the next year's first. To me, that is not enough, because Yeah, the third round pick would be nice if we give the Bears 2 third-round picks in this year's NFL draft, but I'm going to need a little bit more. And obviously, you're trading up 11 spots into the top 10. And once again, you are a quarterback needy team. So I think 21-83, then next year's first and second will be plenty for the Bears to trade back. They can still land maybe a really good defensive player like Kenneth Grant out of Michigan, the defensive tackle. I think that would be a perfect pick at number 21. If you really want a running back, Marion Hampton, I'm out of North Carolina. That would be a really good good pick in a trade back scenario. But overall, this could be a good trade back scenario for the Bears if they do want to trade back. But with guys like Will Campbell or Tyler Warren on the board, going back to the original point, I think the Bears would stay put and take one of Campbell or Tyler Warren. So Bears fans, overall, before I let you guys go, would you guys accept this trade back from the Pittsburgh Steelers that will give you 21-83 in the next year's first and second round pick? Let me know down below in the comment section. But as always, Bears fans, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it.